Hello. I'm not sure how audible I am, so if I'm not very audible, let me know. Let me know. We have a few people on the stream. This might as well just be the final episode, so I am very excited to share with you demos of what's been going on behind the scenes, front of the scenes. Everything is finally tied together, so excited to share with you. As you can see, my background is different. I am not home right now. Um, so it's going to be a very clunky stream. I don't have my streaming set up. I'm streaming from my laptop and I'm sharing my full screen. So we'll see how that goes. Let me check my audio and see how well it works. To share with you. Okay, I think it works. Not sure how loud I want it to be though. So we'll get it loud. Get it a little loud. Huh. By the way, happy holidays, guys. Happy holidays. So, quick recap. What we're doing is we're building an email assistant, something that could draft emails for you. So it's going to read the email thread and then decide what's the appropriate response to send in a specific tone. Tones could be friendly, informal, formal, excited, not interested, interested, a lot of different tones. And so you give it a tone, and then it replies to you in the appropriate tone. Gives a response in the appropriate tone. So it's powered by ChatGPT. ChatGPT is this amazing language model created by OpenAI. Okay, that's a quick recap. Quick recap about where we were with the code from the last time. So from last time, what we did with the code was like we access the Gmail API and we could read emails from the Gmail API. We could send those emails to ChatGPT, and I think ChatGPT could make a response. What we didn't do, I think, was like all the setup about like having all the setup with having the different tones working. If I remember correctly from episode 4, uh, it's been a while since I did episode 4, so I can't remember. But what I can say is I can tell you what I've done after episode 4, which is what I'm going to do. And also stay tuned because I'm going to demo exactly what we have because we're like 99% done with this. It's like ready to launch. But there's a little catch. There's a little catch. So I'm using the Node.js, unofficial Node.js ChatGPT API. And it's sort of like a puppeteer based solution that accesses ChatGPT. Problem with that is it uses a local browser. So because it uses a local browser, that's to bypass Cloudflare protection that OpenAI put on ChatGPT. Uh, so I haven't found a way to deploy a cloud native backend to run. And so I have to run a local server and then create a local tunnel that could redirect requests to my local server and then serve those requests to ChatGPT, and then from ChatGPT get the response and then send it back to the cloud native server, which is like the backend that we're using for Firebase, and then Firebase sends it back to you. Which is very messy for now, but it works. Only catch is that local tunnel has to always be on. So I have like devices around that I don't use. I can just run Node.js on like a Chromebook, run a local tunnel from there, um, to serve requests, but it always has to be on. And the reason is I have to solve a CAPTCHA for ChatGPT API access. I'll demo it to you. You'll see. Um, what to do? What to do? What to do? So what does a local tunnel do? I'm gonna go through local tunnel. So local tunnel, it it uses something called uh, uh, ngrok. I don't know how to pronounce it. So ngrok is like this ingress as a service package that redirects internet service to your local. What's wrong with my voice? It redirects internet service to your local computer. So we are using ngrok to serve requests to your local computer. I'm going to quickly go through the code, index.js. So uh, we're, we're using Firebase admin. So the reason why we're using Firebase admin, I'll get to that in a little bit. We're requiring ngrok. We're doing all the stuff that we have to do. We're running the local tunnel on port 5005. We're getting the ChatGPT singleton, which I'm going to talk about very soon. This is the meat of what ngrok does. So ngrok creates a local tunnel. After it creates a local tunnel, it gives you back the URL of the local tunnel. But that URL is going to be very different. But the server needs to know the address of that URL to redirect to the local tunnel. So every time we get a new URL, we update it in the Firebase Firestore. So after we update it in Firebase Firestore, every time we get a request from the Firebase Cloud Function, it looks in Firestore and sees what's the most recent tunnel that we're using, and then sends a request to the most recent tunnel. So it all works seamlessly as long as the local tunnel URL is being updated. So it's been updated on a file on the Firebase Firestore somewhere. It's called where is and string types. String types, one of the string types would be tunnel, and then it would have the local tunnel URL. If it didn't update, I would have to alert myself, which is like I'm the on call, and then I would have to update the local tunnel URL. So I feel like deploying this would be like a very intense uh, thing if something goes wrong. So I would probably need some help from the community to like help run this. Um, so that's kind of it for the local tunnel. I said I was going to explain why I'm using a singleton for ChatGPT. Okay, so the reason why I'm using a singleton for ChatGPT is I want to make sure that I only have one design pattern that ensures that you only have one instance of an object running. Because I'm solving the CAPTCHA, it's not an existing instance. It creates a new existing instance with the ChatGPT API browser that's being done by the unofficial Node.js API. So singletons, this amazing design pattern. Uh, Lots of services use it. Think of like the file server on your computer, right? Not file server, file application, file directory, file whatever, Finder. So Finder, you only want to have one instance of Finder. Like you don't want to have different instances of Finder, just like handling all your files, right? Lots of things use this. Like in databases, you want to have one instance of the database sometimes to deal with like concurrency issues and stuff like that. Anyway, that's the thing about singletons. So singletons, amazing. Only one instance is created. And then we have Firebase Firestore. We're just updating the local tunnel URL. We're just getting document collection. I repurposed this from one of my previous projects, so you can see approved project failed. This should probably be get document collection failed. Just failed to get document, yeah. All right. I think that's pretty much it. And then we have the ChatGPT model. All it does is just sends requests to ChatGPT, gets back the response, sends the response back to the route. The route is a ChatGPT slash ask route. Routes just like accesses the model. Model sends a reply back. That's it. I think that the major part of what I've done is like building the local tunnel. Now to the Chrome extension. Chrome extension has come a long way ever since. Like really, really great progress with the Chrome extension. So I now have invite code access. While I was building this with the whole local tunnel thing, I just realized that I can't make this completely open because I can't handle all the requests, So initially, while I try to find like a more permanent cloud native hosting solution, I'm gonna have invite codes. So I have built this invite code system where you have to have a valid invite code in order to send requests to the API in order to like access the Chrome extension. So code is boring. I can go through it. Most of the invite code stuff is in like main scripts. We're checking if the user has claimed invite, if they've not claimed invite. we send them back to having to claim the invite. If they claim the invite, we let them access everything. We allow them to sign out. Oh, what else do we do here? Um, checking the invite code. So we're checking the invite code in two places. We're checking invite code in the local computer, which is done like the crim storage. We're also checking invite code in the server. So if I go over to Firebase Functions user, we have a way to like check invite code. Invite code, all it does is just it adds a flag to your user document, and it says this user has redeemed the invite. So we go over to exactly what it does over here, redeem invite code. Click on that. So it added the true flag to claim the invite on the user's document. That's it. And then this flag is being added to, it's being automatically defaulted to false when we have a new user created. Firebase has these things called triggers. Triggers are like methods that execute automatically when something happens. So I put a trigger on the authentication method when a new user is being created. I put a trigger to create a new user object and put claimed invite to false, and then add that document to the user object, um, user data, user collection in Cloud Firestore. I think that's it. That's it. Most of what I've been doing is just like building the invite feature, like a bunch of talk. Let's dive into the demo. Um, I'm going to. Well, it's like my video is not really good. Okay, it works now. When was that? When was this message? I believe. Let's just turn off video and then transition. And then what I could do is not have that video. Let's see how it goes. All right, looks like video is ready. Ooh, that is very bright, very, very bright. Video is ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start everything up. Start up the local tunnel. So I always have to use a version greater than 18 for Node. Node.js, and just do npm run start. When I do this, it's going to fire up the local tunnel, which in turn just fires up a new OpenAI instance. Log into that instance, enters my email. I have to solve the stupid CAPTCHA. Oh, see, now it works flawlessly. Okay, so now that's all I have to do to fire up the local tunnel. And then I would just go over to the email extension and just explain how everything works. I'm gonna go over to Chrome and extensions. Just like remove this extension first of all. And then I'm gonna go over to console, Firebase console, Cloud Firestore. Let's go to authentication. Remove all the user accounts that we have currently. So start a new user session, basically, just let you see the whole process. So I have one user, delete this account, delete, account no longer exists, so blank slate. Go over to extensions, load unpacked extensions. One of the extensions that I would have to load is the Chrome extension. So go over to decline. Getting scam calls. So how do I not like show? It's just it's fine. It's your desktop. Repos. Alright, so we've loaded the extension. We have the extension loaded. I'll go over to emails. I hope this is full screen. And then let's just refresh for refresh sake. Yay! It's asking me to choose an account, and just choose this account. And once we have that account chosen, we come over here, click new email assistant. Asks you to sign in with your email. I'm gonna wait a little bit just so I can see that it's showing on the click next. Says enter your first and last name. I'm just gonna say Michael. Password. Just gonna choose a password. Save. Creates a new account. Yeah, so creates a new account and asks you to enter your invite code. Now, a new account has been created here. Just gonna refresh those users. See, account created, user ID. And if I click here, I can't access anything until I enter the invite code. Invite codes are stored in the Firestore database. I am going to change these invite codes as we go. Currently, we only have one invite code. It's like 4825, which is what I'm going to enter. So, email assistant, invite code. First, let's just not enter like an invite code. Let's enter something that's different. Like code is badly formatted. Rightly so. Let's do 1111. Submit. Invalid invite code. Rightly so. Now let's do a valid invite code 4825. And then submit. Checking. Awesome. It works. So you can set your default email writing tone. You can do stuff to it. So the meat of this thing is responding to emails. As you can see, there's like an email thread going on. It's called ChatGPT thread. Michael says something. Michael said, "Did you get this?" And Michael from a different account, this represents a different account, says something else, and I should respond. So I'm going to choose like different tones. I could choose friendly, respectful, formal, informal. Just go with friendly, and then choose write email. It's going to write an email for you. Give it a few seconds. Yep, it's doing it. Saying, "Hi Mike, yes, I got your email. ChatGPT sounds really interesting. I'm excited to see the interesting things I could do with that." Cool. Uh, it would be very bad if we only, very limiting if we could only do friendly, right? We could do respectful. Or funny. Yeah, let's do funny. Let's write email. It's gonna rewrite an email in the context of the thread with a funny response. Let's see what it says for funny. See, when it says funny, it even changes the tone of the way it says the person's name to say Mikey instead of Michael or Mike. The Mikey has a more like a hip, you know, feeling to it, and it tries to make jokes as well. Maybe if you see if it can bid us as a game of at a game of chess or something. See, it tries to make a joke, which is quite funny, quite funny. So it understands inferences, it understands context, and it could like write emails for you. Uh, but it would be very limiting again to always have to enter, to always have to click a tone. What if we want to have like a default tone that we want to always use with this, right? So we go over to the email extension, click on email assistant, and then we have a lot of tones here that we could change, like respectful, thankful. Let's change formal to our default tone. So default tone is now formal. Refresh it, and formal should be automatically selected when we want to send an email. Click reply to email, and yeah, formal is automatically selected. And then write email. It should write it for you. There it is. There it is. There it is. And even formal, it changes the tone and everything. So there you have it. This is pretty much the demo. My goal for the stream today is to just add a few things. For instance, when you click on write email, it should tell you that it's currently writing email. You know, it should have like a click feedback. And then it should allow you to sign out, which we don't have yet. So once those two things are ready, I could launch this. Let me know if you want to help maintain it. It's like I don't have all the time in the world to maintain it, but it works. So, uh, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Mm, I'm gonna go over to my term. We want to go over to Chrome extension, main scripts, allow sign out. So we can't sign out from here. We would have to sign out from from the settings page. I mean, we could still sign out from there, just have a sign out button. Well, I think it's just better if we put the sign out in settings page. Just so. And then we go over to settings.html. Let's see how the extension looks, so we would know what kind of What if we have sign out right here? Sign out. Have feedback. Content Michael. Sign out. Let's put sign out at the bottom here. So let's do this. Let's go over to footer, and then we'll put another P. So class should be footer text. And this says sign out. Sign out button. And then we just evenly separate these on the evenly we separate this. Let's see what we have. All right, cool. Let's go to our styles.css. Horizontal dash flex. Space. Around. So let's do a horizontal dash flex and space around. Horizontal flex and spaced around. I really do want to turn on my camera. It says excellent connection, which is lower than the recommended bitrate. Thank you. Alright, this is what we want. Sign out, have feedback, contact Michael. But there's something that we want to do with this is that I think the space should be space something else. Space between. And then we refresh this email assistant. Oh, let's do full parent for the let's see the border that we have on there. Alright, yeah, I know why. So let's make this full parent width. Full parent width. It's for the settings HTML. I think it just reads better that way. Full parent width. Horizontal flex, space around. Yeah, kind of. This is what we want. I'll go over to styles. So now most of what we have to work with is the styles. Now we can never remember the views of space around versus space evenly versus, space this, space that. I think space around works fine. It gives a lot more space here. Sign out. Okay, yeah, works fine. sign up link. So for this, what we actually want to have for this, just turn off the snap camera. Great. What we actually want to have is not have a mark at all. And go back to settings HTML. Remove the mark. Make this an underline. Text decoration, we do underline. And then cursor should be pointer. And then go over to, wonder which one of the Google Chromes. Yeah, like this. And then we do the same for the other one as well. Oh, we already have an underline text class. So if we go over to settings HTML, and then for contact Michael, we give it a mark. We also give it a class of underline text. Instead of a mark, we give it I think that's it. Let's give it an ID. An ID. And go over to CSS. I know all the front-end developers out there, like, what the hell are you doing? Just like mixing CSS up with stuff that doesn't, that should not be the actual like best practice. I'm sorry to all you front-end devs out there. I'm like a back-end distributed systems guy, so give it a cursor pointer and should give it something else. Switching between different kinds of VS codes. Mouse. Okay, have feedback contact Michael. Like the contact Michael shouldn't have this on there. So I think I would just give it background color transparent. And then whenever this is being clicked on, we want to open a new window. Let's go over to settings.html, settings.js actually. The function allow sign up. handle contact me click. So document.get element by ID. What's the ID of the element? That is contact me link. Then we want to say if this contact me button exists, then we want to set an unclick listener dot add event listener, and that event listener is a click listener. We bind this method to the DOM, and then from there, what we want to do is link to Twitter. So I'm gonna go over to my Twitter. So what we have to do, find my Twitter, copy this. Also follow me on Twitter, guys, if you're not following me. I post stuff about stuff that I do. I think it's good stuff. Let's go over to whatever we're doing here. So what we want to do is for window to open this link. It's my Twitter link, and then we put the target underscore blank. I think this opens a new tab. And let's go over to settings HTML. This works there, so contact me should work. Do we want to set click feedbacks for these ones? Maybe not. Maybe not. Do we want to set quick feedbacks for these guys? Yeah, let's do it. So we'll just hashtag contact me button. Sign out button. We want to change the color of the text to something like blue. I'll go over to Google Chrome. So it works for one of them, doesn't work for the other one. Yeah, this seems to be like the nicer syntax. Okay. Yeah, that works. But I don't want this blue, I want this kind of blue. So where do I get that? I think it's in tooltip.js. Let's go to tooltip.js and let's find the color. I think this is the color that we're looking for. I think front end is boring work, changing colors, deciding whether FFFFF or FFFFFFF. Alright, cool. I think we're done. So contact Michael, this should open up. This should open up. Just make sure that this is called in main. Window.onload. Allow that. And then allow sign out. Yep. Extensions, reload these extensions. Reload this over here. Yes, clicks opens up. And then this should allow us to sign out. Sign out. Should be something wrong with sign out. Yep. There's certainly an error run with sign out. No Firebase app default has been created. Firebase initialize app. So Firebase has this thing where you always have to do Firebase initialize app. So we don't have it in here. So we go over to main scripts. I think we're doing it in main scripts. We just get the Firebase config. Get Firebase config, open up settings, JS, add this config there. And then we initialize it. Firebase initialize app. Yep, that's what we gotta do. And from there, kind of like always setting up the user object so we could use it in places that we want to use it. So I'll just do this here. Okay. So copy the default, just set the current user to that. So this should work for our case. So if it works for our case, we also want to make sure that when we go to the invite code screen, we have almost exactly the same view as we have in the main screen where we have to sign out filter I'm interested to see where I put it. Settings HTML, footer text. I think footer is immediately after container fluid. Let's find container fluid. Let's just launch this footer here. Let's see how it goes. And so we go over to settings.js, we copy everything we have for handle contact me click, and then handle sign out. Copy all of this, put it in here, main scripts. I think handle sign out is already there. It's there but not defined. Alright, so allow sign out and handle contact me click. If you are a front-end developer, you're like, why is it duplicating code all over the place? That's because I don't want to mess up with modules and webpack configs. Handle sign out. Handle contact me click. Okay. So go over to main HTML. We make sure that we save this. It says everything we need. Now to sign out, clear all, make sure we refresh the extension, and then open it up again, sign out. Yeah, sign out works. So I'll sign in with email. Let's choose a new email. Let's choose no, mvandy@mvandy.com. And like choose the same password. Yeah, it knows that we've already claimed an invite code on this account and this computer, so we could do more stuff with that. And it is what it is. Let's like refresh the email assistant. Alright, I think in order to test how it looks on the main page, all we have to do is like just delete these accounts that we just created. Like just delete them completely. Delete account, delete account, delete. And then we go over to extensions. Show view is not defined. Oh, auth state changed. Show view, that should be in settings. Show view. I think we don't need that. Remove the extension and then load it again. Select Chrome extension. Go over to extensions, have it on. Next, Michael password. Don't even remember what I just typed. Save. Okay. So as we can see, we have sign out and contact Michael here, but it's too close to the submit button. So I think I should give it a little bit of a padding. Main HTML, invite code div. I think it does have a padding. I don't think invite code div has a padding. What else has a padding? Something that has a padding. Row, full parent, full parent. I think I'll just have a break here and just give it some space. Nah, that's too much. Too much. Kind of looks good though, but it's too large. And the form factor is gonna keep changing. The width, the height is gonna keep changing, which I don't want. Kind of don't like the scroll that's going on here. So remove this break. Make sure to keep one of these padding. I think our best bet is to just give this a padding bottom. Padding bottom 20 pixels. Okay. I mean, it's not that bad, but if we could do more than that, let's do 30 pixels. And let's try it again. I like this way better. We could do 35. Could do 35. Let's do a refresh. We're really stretching it. Let's do a 40. Okay. This is good. This I like. No longer changing it. Contact works. Let's do sign out. Okay. It keeps asking you for the auth token, which I didn't think twice about, as if it's gonna keep asking you for it all the time. Oh, it's totally fine. So now, quick email assistant, sign out. Alright, sign in with email works. Sign in works. Let's do 4825. Submit. Checking. Works. Alright, cool. I think that is all for the signing and sign out part. I'm just gonna update doing right now. Allow logout. We've done that. Include link for Twitter. We've done that. Uh, check user. Check user ID authorized access all API routes for registered users. Alright, so I think all I'm going to do is for every request that I sent, which is basically in this method called fetch, I'm just going to add a user ID to it. And then I'll deal with that in the background, in the back end. And so let's look at our settings.js. Are we making any fetch requests here? No, we're not making. All the settings are stored locally, which is good. Let's look at our main script. So yeah, we're making a lot of fetch requests here for like claiming invites, all of this stuff. So current user.uid will be the current user UID, leave the ID. Now we have a few people on the chat, so potentially I could try to put my video up. Concurrent viewer 0. I could see 6 and somewhere else. This is lagging. I'm using VS Code. I'm using VS Code to code. I have an idea. So since my video is lagging, I could potentially add an image capture. And then that image would be a headshot of me. And it would be a headshot in my desktop. Let's just put this over here. So we deal with video lags. Let's do that. All right. I hope this satisfies the urges of people who always want to see a video or a face attached to a voice. Transition. Just lock it up. All right. What were we doing? We were checking API user IDs. Okay, user IDs, user IDs, user IDs. So every time we log in a new user, we get the current user object, current user. So if we do current user.uid, it should give us a user ID. Well, let's just look for all the places we are fetching from. All the places we are fetching from. And just do current user.uid. Let's see. Fetch, 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 fetch. Okay, there's a fetch here. We're adding the UID. Update invite status. Alright, so this one has a UID. Current user.uid. I mean, we're not even checking. Okay, update invite status, current user.uid. And then there's another fetch here, which we're redeeming a user ID. So check invite code is done when we handle invite code. And then JSON to stringify current user.uid. Yeah, okay. I have a user ID there. We're just gonna make sure that the user IDs are consistent the way we check for user IDs. Consistently check for user IDs. So those are 2 fetches that we're doing. So fetch, just 2 fetches here. That's fine. We might be doing other kinds of fetching at the tooltip level. Fetch thread, we get auth token. I don't really think we need to throw auth token every single time. We do a fetch here. I'm just setting the thread ID. Alright, so we don't need those user IDs in the fetch because we're just fetching from the Gmail API. So I suppose Gmail could handle that. So when we're fetching suggestion, I think we should add a user ID to it. But that defeats the purpose, right? Because we're adding the user ID, then we know what user is sending what, and we don't really want that. But in the backend, like you can see that we're not actually storing. We're just using user IDs to check if this user has authorized access to access the API. Which I would think is a good cause. It's for a good cause. Also, can someone write a terms and conditions? Yeah. Can someone write a terms and conditions or privacy policy? So fetch suggestion. We kind of lost request data. So we gotta know where this request data is coming from. It's coming from wherever, but that's the request data. So thread sentiments, and then user IDs. Oh, sorry, something went wrong. Are you signed in? So I mean, theoretically, users can like access this when, but if they're not, if the claimed invite is not set up, if they've not claimed an invite, then they can't access this thing. So at the claimed invite level, let's store the user IDs there. store the user IDs there. And then we can use that. I think I can sleep with this because I know that if you've not claimed your invite, you can't access the API, which like only people who've claimed their invite can like access it, so we know they're authorized. But we could go extra mile with storing their, so setting main HTML, so main dot set, this is what we want, but we want to set when the claimed invite is correct. Handle invite code, check invite code. If data success is valid, then we want to set user ID to be current user dot user ID. So we want to say constant user ID is equal to, if current user is null, then we want to set it to undefined. Otherwise, we do current user dot UID. Let's see if current user is defined. Okay, current user is defined when auth state changes, and just set user ID to just be UID. So now we know that we can only get a user ID when the invite code is valid. So we come over here to tooltip.js. We could potentially check for when I get a current user. I think I'll just store the whole current user object instead of just the user IDs. That way we have access to their names and everything. Let's go to main scripts. Current user is equal to null. All right, so current user. All right, so now we're not only storing the user ID, but we're storing the whole user object, which we could get access to if we go over and tooltip.js. So we can do Chrome dot storage I'm gonna copy this whole thing. I just want to not do this. So if we don't have a current user, actually, we should just go over to claimed invite. Let's reset to claimed invite. So we let current user is equal to null. I have a feeling I'm storing it as like user. So no user, go to So what I want to do is like, if there's no user, I just want to not display anything totally, but that would not. Okay. In theory, this should never happen because we always have to have a user to move onto the stage, to move on. No, not. And then once we're doing the fetching, fetch suggestion, let's say if UID is equal to current user equals null, then we do undefined, otherwise we do current user.uid, and then we just set user ID to UID. So now the request data, all of the request data has a UID. So what we've essentially done is when we go over to our backend, for instance here, and look at routes, user, we could access the user ID here, potentially from like thread here, we could access user IDs, and then we can check if this user ID is correct. If not, then we just send a 404. 404 is not found. Maybe like a 401, like unauthorized or something. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Like the backend is on Firebase, so I can deploy it anytime. I'm just worried about the Chrome extension, having to go through all of these manual reviews and things. But we kind of have done almost all that we need to do. So I'll go over to check user ID, authorized access. Probably have to review this. It's kind of done but not reviewed. Alert on call. So let's check everything once more. Open email assistant. You know, friendly, respectful. Let's do formal. Let's write another email. This is awesome. I like this. Is it working? How do we know if it works or not? Oh, we had an error. tooltip.append for 7. Tooltip.append for 7. So tooltip.js for 7. What's that? Do we have to go through the whole process again? Because we're not actually storing any of the... Remove from Chrome. Remove. Go over to extensions. Load unpacked. Select. Delete. Delete the users. Start on a fresh slate. No user account detected. Please open extension and sign in. Okay, at least that works. My internet is the worst right now. It's the worst. Sort of don't like this contiguous no user account detected that always comes up. So I will remove it. I don't like it. I don't like that it always pops up when there's no user account. So it's just a current user to null. So only when you send a... Okay, my handling identity. When there's a 4441, ask user to log in. Not bad. On 401, on Chrome, extension, tooltip, ask user, alert user to log in. This should barely happen, so I'm gonna label it as medium priority. Alert on call also labeled as like medium priority. What else do we have to do? We were gonna log in. Oh, forget password. Oh my god. That is another one. My internet is so slow. Let's add that to the backlog. Forget password. This is gonna be very low priority. Very low priority for people to have the ability to change their passwords. Okay, Google, do not block my extension because of that. Four, 825, submit. Friendly is good. Refresh. And this should have been handled. What the hell? Let's refresh again. Really? It's not even in the code. Bytes per quota. Let's go to main scripts. We're actually setting user when the code is valid. And then we're going over to tooltip.js. Write an email. It works. Nice. I think that's everything, everyone. That we did it. Yeah. I wish I could do a confetti right now. But this extension is ready to launch. I am going to be making a few cosmetic changes, just looking at the code, making sure that everything is clean, that we're not leaving any important to-dos. You know, like this one is empty. Okay, that's another to-dos. View for no invite. Shouldn't be a view. I think the main to-dos right now would just be making main to-dos right now would just be publishing the extension and just making I lost my train of thought. And publishing the extension and making sure that everything works, which we kind of have made sure that everything works. And making the terms of service. Is that absolutely necessary though? Like, how many Chrome extensions have a terms of service? Let's go to manifest.json. I don't need a terms of service. Oh, we don't need a terms of service. It's only on this login popup.js that we kind of need to have it in terms of service. and do sign out and other minor touches. Alright, publish that one. And then the back end. I have no idea. And then the local tunnel. What did we change on local tunnel? I have no idea. Me. You know, I might as well just like generate terms of service. You can see where the internet is slow. Website URL. Potentially do the Chrome extension, but I'm just gonna do the GitHub. The GitHub link. Guys, go store this on GitHub. Like, whatever you're doing right now, stop whatever you're doing and go store the repo on GitHub. That's how you get more attention to it and get more contributors. Three stars. Thank you to whoever has stored it. Free privacy policy editor. Enter website URL. Next. Country, United States. State of California. Email address. Copy text to clipboard. Okay. Let's copy the text to clipboard. Terms of service.txt. And then the URL. Just copy the URL. Alright, that's it. Okay. Well. Like, the only reason why I'm doing this is for the manual review to not go through any roadblocks. Website URL, that's that one. Chrome extensions or websites. I'm Addy AI. I'm an individual, United States, California. Collect their email addresses. We collect their first and last names, but we don't use them. No addresses, no phone numbers. So by email. Okay, that works.